You don't have my number. Hello everyone, Ryan here, and today I'm going to be reviewing the new Japanese breakfast album titled Soft Sounds from Another Planet. Japanese Breakfast is the solo musical project of Michelle Zauner, who is from the band Little Big League, a band that I'm not particularly familiar with, but I stumbled across Japanese breakfast music last year through the hype of music publications. And I thought the debut album Psychopop was okay from a Japanese breakfast. I thought it was decent. It didn't really grab me in any particular way. The music was soaked in reverb, a little bit too much reverb for my taste. I do like reverb at points, but I've said before that reverb kind of can, grate on me a little bit. It can sound a little bit too unnecessary. It sounds a little bit overdone, overproduced, and it can often leave me underwhelmed by the music that it brings. But I am happy to announce that on Soft Sounds from Another Planet, the reverb is pretty much taken away and we hear much more of Michelle Zauner's vocals, and the music sounds so much better. Although at times this album is quite painful within the lyrics, Michelle Zauner seems to have gone through quite a traumatic thing over the past few years where she's lost her mother, and of course those lyrics still shine through on this album as they did on Psychopop. But there's something about this album that I just absolutely find beautiful. I mean, it's not often that pain can be described with beauty. I know a lot of people will say that a painful album might be beautiful to listen to, but the music on this album is serene. It really does, the production is really beautiful. You get that instantaneously on the track Diving Woman, which the instrumental on this track is absolutely blissful. I can't remember the last time I heard a song that sounded more beautiful than this. Michelle Zauner took her inspiration from this song from South Korean female divers who, go diving and collect food to sell as a way of living, and also they can dive into the water and, last for lengthy periods of time under the water. And Michelle Zauner has always seen this kind of lifestyle and these women as an inspiration to her. And, it's not even the lyrics that are the most interesting part, because there's just the sound of this song is just incredible. I mean, I just absolutely love the way this track sounds. The melody to the track Boyish is absolutely brilliant and is one of the best melodies on the whole entire album. And really, just across every track on this album, pretty much every track anyway, there's just this amazing aesthetic to the sound. It just really is absolutely pleasing to my ears. And I suppose on a compositional level, this isn't even the most unique thing you'll ever hear, but I think it's just one of those albums that does everything it needs to do right. I mean, the influences are fairly clear. I can see that they take influence from bands like Deer Hunter, but, it's not too obvious and never takes away from the music. And as I've already said, there's this sense of pain to a lot of the lyrics, and that really adds to the vibe of the whole album too. The track The Body is a Blade is a song trying to find the good in yourself. There's a really good lyric here where she says, find what's left in you, channel something good. And this is obviously after the events of her mother dying. Of course, after an event that's so big and so horrific, how do you then find the good in yourself? And I really like that sort of lyrical component to this track. Until Death, the closing track, well, before the instrumental little closer, that isn't particularly all that exciting, but it's only 30 seconds long anyway. But this track sounds a bit like a 60s song, and it's an ode to the person that she loves, the one that she's with, and after all the support he's given her through all the shit that life has thrown at her during this time. But we get a little bit of insight to this guy that she's with as well on the track 12 Steps. It's an excellent song, and it's about a person that she used to be with, but she used to go to this bar, but she actually met the guy that she's now with at the same bar, and she left that person for him. But what this track is, it's essentially an apology song to that guy, because she now recognizes that the love that they once had kind of ran its course, but there isn't anyone specifically to blame. It's just that she entered a new stage of her life where she found someone that showed her the support that she needed. And even though the lyrics to this track are very specific, anyone can relate to that. One thing I did want to mention though was that there's this sort of space kind of theme going on in this album a little bit, especially in the instrumentals that play through this album. They do really give like this kind of otherworldly sound to them, which I really love. But it's not particularly something that plays into the entire music of this album. I've seen a few sites already reference this, but I don't really see it as being that big of a theme in the album. In fact, the only point where it plays a major role is the track Machinist, which is a track about this woman falling in love with a robot, which is kind of bizarre. But I cannot get with the vocal style on the intro to this track. I mean, yeah, sure, it's like this spoken word introduction, but it honestly just sounds like a really bad, like, perfume commercial. Michelle Zauner's voice is so whispery, it's like, do you like perfume? Do you like aftershave? Calvin Klein by Calvin Klein. It really is like the really bad voiceovers you get over those kind of adverts. And then over the track as well, after that part, you know, her vocals go in these kind of weird vocoder vocal things that I don't really think fits her very well. Even if I do get that it is part of the theme of the song, it still doesn't particularly sound all that pleasing to me. The only part I really like is the outro, which has this amazing sax outro, and it's just incredible. But apart from that, that is the only complaint I have with this album. I think this album is just incredible. To say that I wasn't all that interested in Psychopop, I am amazed that I've come out of this album absolutely loving it. I mean, it's just the aesthetic, the vibe, everything about the music on this album is just so blissful. I cannot recommend this enough. It's another album that I'm going to be loving by the end of the year and making my list. I'm going to give this an A-. Make sure you listen to this album, and if you already have, then let me know what you think and what else I should review. I do reviews every day, so make sure you subscribe for more of those, and also have a good day.